Hey, we are on today with Patricia and Nimblehorse. Hello, Nimblehorse.
Hi, Karen. Hi, Patricia.
Hi, Nimblehorse. Hi, Karen.
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Anyway, nice to see you again, Nimblehorse. We were just talking that you were our last hangout before our channel
When you disappeared off of YouTube. I was really disappointed with that because it was like every weekday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday sort of thing. It was a therapy class, your show. I felt that I could,
Aww.
because you can get to speak to people in the chat, and we all knew each other. We knew something fishy is going on, flat Earth, and we could talk about things that most normal people, mainstream people, just can't grasp, and so that was good. I used to enjoy it a lot.
Yes, well, as I said to you, I'm not even sure why they took the channel down. They still haven't really told me. They've given me this vague sentence which covers so many things that when you read it to someone goes, well, I don't know what that means. So 25 times I wrote to YouTube and they didn't say anything. And I put Sun and Moon, the other channel, obviously the bigger channel, on appeal, and I still haven't heard anything.
Yeah. I mean, how many videos had you uploaded? I mean, there's...
Yeah, and you know what I told them? They say you can go and get your stuff off if you want, but I couldn't get on the channel to get it off. So I think that's really mean of them, and they just don't talk to you.
Yeah, it's the same Google. It's this huge monolith.
The thing, I think not that I agree with the other person who was talking, but this bit I did. There's no customer services whatsoever with YouTube, eBay, what are these big things? Facebook. There's no way you can ring up, talk to. You're lucky if you find somewhere, and they might write back to you. If you're lucky.
Yeah, I did find. I was able to speak to a real person on eBay. I'd seen somebody had tried to hack into my mother's account, and there was some fishy thing going on, and it took me over 2 hours to find the phone number, and I spoke to someone, an American accent, who immediately shut down my mum's, fixed it, and we got a refund. But yeah, I mean, I know there's no phone number for YouTube, certainly.
Well, eBay, often you're ringing the Philippines.
Oh, possibly, yeah.
And they sort of and then those people will go, I can only go so far, and that's the whole point, because there's lots of spaghetti and no ends.
Yeah. Did I tell you the last time I saw you that my dog had died? Did you?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, actually, I've got a new one. I'll show you. She's not new. She's 9.
Hello, Doug. Let's put the picture. Hang on, let me put the camera on it. What's her name?
Becky.
Hello, Becky.
She's a mini fox terrier. Just the best.
Oh, she looks like a puppy because she's mini. I've got a mini Jack Russell. It's the size of a rabbit. Yeah. But it's basically got the personality of a Great Dane.
That's like how she just barks at everybody. Everything gets told.
Yeah, big dogs are frightened of little dogs.
Is that you're talking about there?
Sorry, I said big dogs are frightened of little dogs.
No, there's a wee bit of feedback buzzing coming from.
Yeah, I think that's because you've got your microphone in the speaker, but we don't. Otherwise, something like that. Maybe just turn your speakers down. Just it's gone now. It's Patricia.
Yeah,
it's gone now. It was Patricia. We'll let her off though. That's a bit bad. She's already muted now, guys. She's muted again, which she wasn't muted. It was nice having Patricia not muted, although she's still quite quiet compared to me. But yeah, she's muted now. It was Patricia. Anyway, you're okay now. Sorry, Patricia. Yeah. So we haven't seen you for a little while. We're slowly getting back into things. We will add the chat room back soon at some point. But, I've got a list of people lined up to have chats.
I see you've got 841 subscribers. for your
Yeah, well,
True.
this channel and
Yeah.
another Sun and Moon were made when we did get a strike at the beginning, right? But I just every night we were having a hangout. See, that's another reason why I thought that maybe they didn't like that. Every time we had a hangout, I'd go and put the link for the hangout we were having on the other two channels. So I don't know if that was it, so that the other channels still got to see the main channel. But obviously we're using this one now. I just don't think they're going to give back the other Sun and Moon. I was hoping and stuff, and
Yeah.
there is a difference. I was just explaining it to you. There's termination. Weren't terminated. We were suspended, whatever the difference is.
Yeah.
But they're just not replying. But anyway, we move on, and I think I like it this way when we get one-to-one with someone, and occasionally we'll have bigger hangouts. But I quite like the one-to-one with someone.
Yeah, I enjoyed the chat room. When did you say that could come back?
Soon, we'll do it soon. But I just want to see how this new, because you said, oh, everybody thinks that hangouts are going away. They're not. They're just going to be calling it like live hangouts or something. And I've actually saved the page, and it kind of looks the same as this. It's just on another page. So hangouts aren't going away. They're just changing what they're calling it. And
well, somebody told me that you won't be able to share your screen, for example, and do it sort of like a lecture, for example, and bring in images and stuff to share with the viewers. That won't be possible. Or you'll have to do it through your webcam or something. You know, pointing your camera at your.
Really?
It was one of the guys on another live stream was complaining that.
Well, I noticed when they changed things, I don't know, they changed things a few months ago. They took the counts off. And I actually really like seeing the count on the panel. You could sort of, because I had to do the chat room and stuff, you got to see how many people. I don't know, I just liked on the main panel here seeing the count. And also on the main panel here, I used to be able to turn the volume up and down and eject you. That was it. I couldn't do anything else. But I can't turn the volume up. All that's gone. Great, though. Why are they taking these things away? Do you know what they haven't taken away? I bet you a porn bomber can still get in.
I can see that Patricia sent a text message. You can send texts to.
Yeah, on the side of the main panel here, you can write messages to each other on here that the actual live stream or whoever the hangout don't see.
Yeah, that'll be good then if we can get back to some kind of normality.
Just wanted to see what actually happened when all this stuff switches over, just to make sure. Because I just thought there's no point starting because you're not the first person that says that Hangout's going, but me and Patricia went and looked at it. But I thought, well, it's quite hard work doing a Hangout and the chat room at the same time. Well, it was. So this way is a bit more sort of relaxed.
Yeah.
Even though I know people do like the chat room, and we will bring it back. And also, I was trying to find out, the whole point about going slowly was, I still don't really understand what I did wrong on Sun and Moon. So what was the point of going ahead and do the same thing and get blocked again?
I think just talking about flat Earth was what you did wrong. Like I was saying, how YouTube had a purge. I mean, I had a video. None of my videos on my channel are actually made by me. They're just other people's videos that I've uploaded and linked it back to their channel. So I had one about the Federal Reserve, how it was formed in 1913, Jekyll Island, all that sort of stuff. I mean, the Morgile used to talk about that, but so it was by that Eustace Mullins. It was a lecture he gave. So it was about a 2-hour video about the Federal Reserve, and in that video, Eustace Mullins mentions how the Federal Reserve is created and run by Jews, right? Well, that's no secret. That's just a fact, right? But that's enough for YouTube to erase that video. It's got taken down. And but I've found other channels recently that have that same video, yet it's not been removed from their channel. So this whole YouTube thing, it seems to be just willy-nilly. They've got some
I
money.
think when we joined it a few years ago, it was a lot more liberal than it is now. And now you don't know. Am I allowed to say this? Is that against the rules now? Am I not allowed to do this? And I must admit, on my other channel, which isn't very nice really, I wake up nearly every day thinking, is the channel still there?
Yeah, it's a lot of work, isn't it? Uploading.
Yeah, even this one, I think, is it still going to be there? Are they going to do the same to me on this one?
So yeah, it's not fair, and it's the fact is all YouTube. It's other people that make YouTube. And the people that run it are just like parasites. They're trying to introduce all this marketing.
I don't understand why they couldn't have sectioned it all off, right? If they wanted to, and you could have had fashion. I know it would have just been an area, okay? So a lot of things would have stuck in one category, but you could have had a little category on the edge called flat Earth. What did it matter? Concave Earth, globe Earth. What does it matter?
Yeah.
And you know what, don't you, as well? Like, we've all noticed, right? I don't know about this channel so much, but on the other one, every day you pick up, say, 10 subs and you'd lose 9. You pick up 8, you'd lose 8. And every day, all of us have watched the same thing going on. I was actually going through some of my old videos. We made a little copy of it. We're actually on this hangout where we were actually watching the chat room numbers go down one by one, 35, whatever it was, 30, 29. Well, it was higher than that. And it went down to 0, and there was all these people in the chat room.
Yeah, I think I'd seen that night. It was just...
Yeah, and they don't seem to care about these things. They don't care about the porn bombers coming in. Patricia found that an article that they know that porn bombers can get in, and they're not taking the glitch out. So how ridiculous that the public can see the Hangout link and get on, and then that channel gets shut down for something that actually is a service problem. Do you see what I mean? They do all these changes, but the one thing that they should have done, which was make sure that the Hangout link didn't go out, they left that one in.
Yeah, so I think that YouTube is actually a psyop itself. It's been taken over. It initially was probably the people themselves that started it, just somewhere to hang videos, any video, and then it got taken over by your Tavistock, your deep state or whatever. And then they're messing with us. They're shadow banning. I'm shadow banned in quite a few sites that I used to like to comment on, but my comments were obviously too sensitive to be viewed, especially when you've got a channel that's got high sub numbers. Like in the tens of thousands. You don't want tens of thousands of people, especially if you're in at the start of the video and your comments in with the first 50 or something. My dog's just been sick on the bed. I gave her some sardines. But anyway, yeah, YouTube, I think they're just totally messing with us deliberately.
Yeah, I mean, in a sense, there's probably more than they say there are. But what difference does it make? We're just a bunch of people. What's so frightening about Flat Earth? Well, we know why, but it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be frightening, but we know why it is, because they've lied about everything.
Yeah, and it's about NASA. It's about the ongoing hoax, about going to Mars, about tax farming. Yeah, that's my new word. I like to use that word, tax farming. It's things like the space station, all that. That's actually taxpayers' money from the American people, and well, from all sorts of places, isn't it? They can cream money for something that doesn't really exist, and they just give us these crappy videos and. Yeah, I hate it actually.
I also think that they keep trying to change things to make sure that people don't earn any money.
What do you mean
They'll just put inappropriate up, and then you have to sort of ask it to be passed yourself. And I just said that I think that if they penalise you, at least you're penalised. If you press the button and they review it and it goes out, and then suddenly they go, this breaks guideline procedures, block, delete the channel. So that's how they're going to get to delete people.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, my channel's not actually any of my videos, so it's not my work. But I mean, I've taken time to upload them, and if I've found one day that totally erased me, I would be.
Well, the one thing we've learned is that you say my channel, but it's not your channel, it's theirs.
That's what I mean. It's just, it would be quite depressing. So it's probably, like I said, a psyops to demoralize people like us, that are free thinking people, you know, just to
They want us into crime scenes that don't exist.
mess
They
with
want
our
us
head.
believing everybody's killing each other off all the time and that we're just a bunch of killers. So they're going to have to send the soldiers in. That's what I reckon. That's what they're gearing up with it all.
Well, it's coming.
Personally.
Yeah, I think civil war in these, you know, former Christian countries, America, Europe,
Yeah,
Australia.
but all that's silly, isn't it? Because it can't be real because they've probably all got HARP and everybody's got HARP is in on it. So it's silly. It's just all about fear.
5G as well, that's coming.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is they're keeping us in fear of wars and fear of this. Just turn the television off.
Yeah, it's a weapon of mass deception, or mass distraction rather, TV. Someone was just talking to me about getting a smart TV. His wife had asked him if they should get one, and he's told her not to get it because they'll spy on you. They'll listen to what you're saying in your living room and taking keywords and then feeding you adverts that they think that you might be wanting. I mean, that's totally sinister. Creepy, you know. I've noticed it with my phone. I just recently got a smartphone, like a Galaxy Edge, and I've noticed like I've been getting synchronistic adverts, and I'm wondering if they're listening to my conversations, you know, because the phone's on in my pocket, and I wouldn't put it past them, you know. I know.
No, I know. It just seems, but then I suppose that's what happens when some of us wake up. We're going to feel a bit like that, aren't we? Because we can see what's happening and it's different to what you think. So it makes you think these things, doesn't it? Shouldn't buy anything that says smart on it.
Yeah, I mean, it is a war. We're in a war, whether we know about it or not. Our so-called governments are you know, making plans to reduce our numbers to make us more manageable, dumb us down.
I think that's already happening because China, the men in China I hear, have to go to other countries to find wives now because of that having only one child. They all wanted boys.
That's
And
right.
now they've got a whole generation of boys and there's no women.
Yeah, I've heard about that. The abort.
And so that's not the only country where, you know, actually we're diminishing. We're already diminishing. So when they keep saying we're exploding with population, we're not, we're diminishing.
Yeah, plus now abortion on demand. Ireland, everyone's killing off the unborn. It's just bizarre how we're manipulated into.
Oh,
choosing.
dearie me. Patricia, is there anything you want to say, my darling? Because she's quite quiet.
Yeah, Nimblehorse, last time you were on, you mentioned you make the tartan pegs. Are you still doing them?
Yeah, so what that was about, it's like I was a carer for my mother, and so I got thrown back. That stopped, and I got thrown into the benefit system. I had to go and sign on like universal credits. It's actually,
Oh my goodness, that's horrible. I was going, but I've decided not to.
yeah. So it was really grim, and I thought up this idea to get off of universal credits, at least to get it's called enterprise allowance, and it gives you a year startup to start a business, and they give you a little bit extra money. And that's what I did, and I came up with this peg doll idea to try and make some Scottish souvenirs. So yeah, I'm still making them. I'm actually into week 19, so I don't know how many months that is. I suppose it's about 4 months I've been doing this, and I can carry on doing this until March next year, and I have to be making £11,000 a month for them to call it a viable business, and that would be me making, you know, $100 a week, and so I'm just kind of making minimum wage, and so I've not started marketing them. I've just built up a kind of library of these dolls. Did you want to see one?
Yes, please.
Well, just give me like 2 seconds.
Look at that little doggy sitting there.
And
So here, yeah, I'll put a light on it. See if I can get some. Take this off here. Okay, here's the camera. You see that? It's not very good for
oh wow.
close up. Anyway, they come in a little bag, and it's on a whiskey cork, a single malt, recycled.
Do you make the whole things then? You make the whole little statue then?
See that sword? I just got that recently. It's a cocktail stick, shaped like a pirate sword, and I sprayed painted it. It's to get me off of that hideous universal credit malarkey, and I don't know if they'll actually sell. I mean, I've been at the local shops have some, but they're not exactly selling like hotcakes.
Aye.
Is there
Oh, carry on, Patricia.
is there something like you've got your own web page or something like that where you can promote them on Facebook or
Yes,
somewhere
I made a gallery.
that we can get people to go to?
I made a gallery on Facebook, just to, and I had a shop on Etsy, but Etsy was like really, they took like 40%, and that is the problem I'm finding. The dolls themselves in the little bag for 10 quid. I mean, it's fair enough. I spent like an hour and a half on them, and maybe it's £1 for materials, but
so that's how long it takes you to make them? An hour and a half?
Something like that, yeah.
Oh, that's quite quick then.
Yeah, but I make big batches of them, so it works out that I'm getting like minimum wage. And the thing is, when I take them to a shop, like if it's some kind of gallery or something, they all want to take like more than 40%. So the dolls end up selling for £15 to £20, and people, I don't think, want to pay that. So that's the problem.
Have you thought about going to some craft fairs then?
Maybe. See that all of these tartan gift shops, they're full of stuff that's actually made in Taiwan, and it's just got like a sticker on it with a saltire, or a lion rampant, and then the shop owner can charge 400%. He gets them in for £1.99, and they sell for £7.99 in his shop, and he's happy. I come along with a handmade folk art figurine, and he doesn't want it because a lot of people don't even recognise the Highlanders anymore because they've just seen Hollywood movies and things. So it's just, yeah, it's keeping me busy. I'm out of trouble. So I don't think I'll be making my millions off them.
I think you need a craft fair.
See, I do a lot.
Tell her, Patricia.
That's all right. Yeah, I'm going to say craft fairs, but the only problem with them is, well, it's not a problem. I mean, obviously, if your product's good enough and people want to buy it, they're going to buy it. It don't matter what you think. I'm just trying to find a way to help you promote it, because the more people that know about them, because I think they're absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to write to the National Trust. I mean, they've got like 100+ shops in Scotland, and if they were to buy, say, just a few dolls for each of their shop, then I'd be laughing. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'll just make as many dolls as I can, so maybe a couple of 100, 300, something like that in the next couple of months, and then try and market them to these big, like St Andrews Woolen Mill. They've got shops throughout the country actually, and they've got quite classy merchandise as well. So I'll probably send samples to head office or something as a final marketing ploy. But yeah, I'll show you them. They come in this bag. I don't know if you're able to see that. So it comes with a fact sheet with and wrapped up. So I mean, I think they will sell. Even if they don't, the guy at the job centre said, you know, the worst case scenario is at the end of the year you've just got like yourself £3,000 or £4,000 worth of dolls, you know, in your room. So I don't think I'm losing. You know, I will sell them, but that's not my strong point. You know, knocking on doors and chatting to people. I'm quite happy crafting, but
Have you thought about a market stall or something?
yeah. So Edinburgh Fest,
Because you might.
they do like the Fringe. It's coming up in the next couple of weeks or something, and you have to apply for a street trader's license, and you have to apply for it 2 months in advance, and they don't tell you how much it costs. They just want to know what you're selling first of all. Then they'll decide how much they're going to cream off. But I don't know. I might just go through there with a suitcase and try, risking it without a license.
Just stand at somebody else's stall and just push their stuff over to the side and just put your stuff on. That's what I'd do.
The Royal Mile, just approaching. I don't know. I'm not really that into money either. You know, I never seem to be wanting, and yeah, like I said, it was just I'm trying to
under the
horrible benefit.
Under the enterprise scheme, would you not like? You say you're on the enterprise scheme.
Yeah, well,
whatever
that
it's
lasts
called.
Yeah, it's a year they give you of grace to try and start to do a business startup. But you can only apply for that every 3 years. So that, you know, if my business fails at the end of the year, I can't apply for that because you get a little extra money on top of your benefit, and obviously my rent's paid and stuff.
You know, when you're
yeah.
applying for the market license and that, would the fact that you've been on the enterprise scheme help?
No.
Does it help?
So it's just Edinburgh City Council charge traders a fee. It's maybe £80 for 2 months, and then you have to reapply for another license after the 2 months. Just simple as that. But
I think it's going to have to get, when you've made these little figures, finished doing them, you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone and do things that you've never done before to sell them.
Well, that's what I did. I did actually do that. I went on holiday with my pal. We went up in my car with tents up to Inverness. So I went via all of the sort of towns, Fort William, Inverness, and knocked on all these doors for these tartan gift shops. And honestly, it was just like really difficult. There was no managers. Or the weirdest one was in Pitlochry, this really Scottishy town. There's 3 shops knocked into one in the high street, and it's kilt hire / gifts, tartan gifts, right? And I walked in there, right? And the place is run by Sikhs with the turbans on, right? And I showed the guy my model, and he just looked at it and said, "No, I don't want that." And so I had to do 180. I'm thinking, like, what the fuck are Sikhs running tartan? You know, it's like you wouldn't go to Nepal or in North India and expect it to go into a Sikh shop and it's run by Scots. It was really bizarre, and how they turned me away, it was like really demoralizing as well.
It's probably not that easy to sell at the moment. I've noticed that a lot of people have put their houses on the market, but they're not selling.
Yeah, and the things that were for sale, all these tartanified things, were really awful. Plastic, like snow globes made in Taiwan, hip flasks made in China with a sticker. It's all just merchandise for mass production, and yeah, sad but true.
Yeah. There's no quality in quality anymore, is there?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, there was a couple of shops like the St Andrews Woolen Mill. I mean, obviously they've got a lot of classy woven fabrics and things, and it's a big shop and it's a chain. So I am going to approach these people, but I'll need to do it. You know, I need to.
Can you do it a bit way that you
Right.
only the items sell, you get some money, so they don't have to buy your figures. They just take,
Yeah.
unfortunately, a cut, and then they give you the rest if they sell them. What about that?
Well, that's what I'm doing in my local area. I've given a certain amount of shops these dolls on tick, as it were, and I have sold a few, you know, but it's not good. It's like I'm having to lay out my wages on somebody else who may or may not sell them. It's just so anyway. This is just my business that I'm pottering about. It probably won't succeed, but it gets me off of universal credits, which was the key issue. I'm afraid I'm a bit cynical. See, when I was looking after my old dear, she's 84, right, and she's like an alcoholic, and she totally messed up my life. I can give you a quick brief. Like, so I was growing cannabis, and she totally grasped me up to the cops. Couldn't believe it. Your own mother shopping me. It's because I stopped buying her whiskey. She was having these hypos, you know, with diabetes, and I was finding her unconscious on the floor, foaming at the mouth, right? And so she'd been having whiskey binges, right? And so I said to her, look, I'm not buying you any more whiskey. And her vision was gone, so she couldn't go on to Tesco and get her whiskey sent to her. And a woman scorned. Next thing I know, my secret grow has been busted, and I'm looking at jail time. Seriously, just missed 12 months in jail because I convinced the judge that it was just a first offence. Like, there was nothing on my phone to suggest that I'm a dealer. But I'm going up for sentencing in a couple of weeks. Actually, I'll probably get 100 plus hours of community service.
Aye.
Yeah, it's not very good. And I was just getting right into growing. I was really enjoying I'd only done I'd had one grow, which was a slight disaster. And then my second grow was like everything was running really smoothly. And there was 2 weeks before chopping it down, and then in come the police, you know. So, and then my mum just dropped me as well off of that carers allowance. So that's what I mean. I was thrown into the benefit system. And
Oh, are you talking to your mum now?
no, I'm not. I don't want to speak to her again after doing that. She's done that to me a few times. She's totally destroyed my life, and it's taken me years to recover. So that was the final time. She doesn't get to do it again. Yeah, alcoholism. It's just really.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Nimblehorse.
Yeah, so am I. I mean, I didn't expect it.
Yeah, me too. Oh.
Yeah, it's sad because I would have been a good grower. I was looking forward to. I'm going to give up smoking. I mean, I've given up smoking tobacco already. I've just been smoking chamomile tea bags. I'm going to give up the weed as well. I can't really afford it. You know, being on benefits. But I'm not depressed. I think it's, you know, everything's going good.
So when did all this happen with your mum then?
Well, a year today probably, that I was arrested by the police. I mean, the secret grow was in her back room, you see. She'd given me all the money to buy the kit. It was like £1,000 worth of equipment. You know, everything you need, the grow tent, the carbon filters, everything. And that's all been confiscated. It's just that she totally shot herself in the foot and then cut her nose off to spite her face. She's just a nutcase, like. Yeah.
Oh.
But she's in good. It's good for her actually, because she was living in this kind of country mansion, like on the grounds of a big mansion in one of the gardeners' cottages, and renting. And she wasn't managing. It was really difficult. Just me looking after her, and because she was in that transition of being sort of independent and then sort of needing more help than I could give her. and she didn't want any people coming in, like cleaners and that. So the place was pretty grotty. She wouldn't let me anywhere near the toilet, her toilet, which was, well, it was a mess. Anyway, she finally got the care because she had 3 of these fits where she was in hospital on a drip and stuff. And so the social workers that came in to look after her, she hatched a plan to get rid of me with them. And then when she did that, she wasn't able to cope because I was her main carer 7 days a week on that carer's allowance, which is like £2 an hour. Anyway, she had to go straight into a care home. And within days of me being arrested, she was getting bounced about between various care homes, and I think she's obviously getting better care now than I could have given her.
But you haven't spoken to her in the last year?
No. And another disaster, when she was put into the care home, the cleaner that she had went and stole loads of stuff off her, and I wasn't there to protect it. And loads of stuff got ripped off, and nothing was done about it as well.
Oh.
Yeah. But I'm kind of glad, because see the stress I was under looking after my old dear, I was like really, really stressed out. And now I'm not. I'm not stressed out. Yeah.
Well, good for you trying something else then.
Yeah. I mean, life's all about, I'm quite stoical when it comes down to it. These things are sent to strengthen you.
Sometimes I wonder, though, how much strength that you do need. I mean, like, what, again? What, I need another lesson?
Yeah.
How strong do you have to be?
I mean, to be fair, like, my family is really kind of dysfunctional. So it's not like I've had this really close, loving relationship with my parents, and then suddenly it's all gone tits up. And no, it's my parents were both alcoholics, and they did everything they could to mess up their children's lives. So.
I think I know what some of that's about. I think when we're little, the parents are important. That's what you think when you're little. But those people think they're important, and they grow up still thinking they're important, even when you've left home. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, they would play
They're
that.
the only important ones.
My parents had a business. I mean,
when you're little, you don't know anything else. So you do think your parents are really important, and you do listen to what they say. But I'm empathic, and my world's different. But these people just seem to care about themselves, and they're still important, and they still want to treat you like you're a child, and it just goes on, the same generational thing going on.
Yeah, remember the last time we spoke, you were saying how people are really narcissistic. I mean, I've been realizing that, how narcissistic I've been. It's like it's an infection. The whole society has been infected with this narcissism, and my parents are just perfect examples of that. They spent.
Yeah, our parents were one of the most indoctrinated, because don't forget, turning us into a ball in the 60s means that our parents were the most indoctrinated with it all.
Definitely.
I mean, I tried to have this conversation with my mum, like, Mum, I tried to say, look, Mum, we're flat and that. And she was saying, I know we're a ball. I know we're spinning. And I'm thinking, oh, how does she know?
Yeah.
She doesn't. She's just listened to the television. And, like, I think it's just too much for a lot of people. It's just too much. They can't cope with it all, that reality isn't reality. They like what they've got. That's what it is. They don't want to think outside the box. They just want what they've got. And shut up, get out of the way, whatever it is. Oh, what's she on about? No. And, we've all sort of woken up and went the other way.
Talking about flat Earth, a good friend of mine ended up emigrating to Australia, and so from Dundee, I was one of his best pals. He was an artist, and I would go around to his studio and he was making ceramics 10 hours a day, 6 days a week. And I'd go around there, have a cup of coffee, smoke a joint with him, and just have a chat. And so we were quite close, and we could talk about anything and everything. And you know, I would stimulate him to be creative, and vice versa. So anyway, off he goes with his wife and kids to Australia, and so 10 years. He's just back for a month. He's got an exhibition on Edinburgh. And anyway, so I met up with him at a friend's house. This is just like last week. And so we got on the subject. I mentioned flat Earth, and he just took a total wobbly. He was just going like typical ball Earth attitude is, you know, that how stupid could you be? You must be anti-science if you think flat Earth. So I said, well, give me your best shot. I mean, what's your proof of a ball? And he goes, well, I've seen the curve. I've been to a beach and I've seen the curve. And I went, well, wait a minute. He says, no, I've been up a mountain. I've been in a plane. I've seen the curve. And I'm saying, wait a minute. NASA says you have to be 145 miles up before you can start to see any curve. So what do you say to that? And he was just like dumbfounded. And then again, he just tried to throw like another stumbling block. But each time he did that, he stumbled over it. It was like, I wasn't trying to, he was trying to belittle me. Yeah. And all I was trying to do is to try to wake him up and say, look, no, wait a minute. And he's a total moon believer, thinks we went to the moon and that. And see, when you're like that, you're entrenched in this kind of fog of, he didn't even know anything about the global.
The thing is, if you don't actually, you know, we only see little clips on the television and that. And it was only when, I mean, I've done it with this other case on my other channel, but I did it with NASA. I looked at their videos, I broke them down, I looked at things, and every video I got, there was something wrong with it. So on the Unscrambled, I've just put out my one with the paused astronaut. You can see through the astronaut, and the astronaut is touching the ISS space station, and it looks like material. It's touching it, and it's moving like material. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And then I put one up, and I said, who'd be brave enough to go on this, and just showed all the wires? People don't realise. They don't realise that that's what they're looking. If they actually were shown videos, or they got to see videos, and they might question it once they see all the wires.
I mean, the people that, like my pal Steve, who's like, he's adamant that, that I'm an idiot for being a flat earther, even though all of his arguments just fell apart, and he didn't know anything about his round Earth. I had to tell him like the speed of the rotation and blah blah blah. And when you're up against someone that's like that, that's just totally entrenched, has no idea of his argument, let alone flat Earth arguments, it's just tragic. Because I mean, we couldn't meet halfway. There was no seeing mind to mind. So yeah.
But you know, before you even start, then really that they've made sure that this generation of people now is very narcissistic.
Mm-hmm. Well, all these black phones, it's like the black screen. It's this like a scrying mirror. Do you know what that is? A scrying. That's where a black mirror is, where like the wizards would stare into the black mirror to try and look for visions and prophetic future visions. And that's what we're all doing. We've got a black mirror, and we're all looking into it for our future kind of.
But a lot of us aren't using it for the reason that you're saying, though. A lot of people won't even know that, so they're not using it for that. But I do know what you mean. I mean, it's put in place.
Yeah. It's like
if only people knew more of the truth, even if they didn't believe we were flat. The bit about education, medication, just politics, television, just the whole thing, even just those parts of it. I just wish those people would wake up even to that, so that they would question things.
Yeah.
You know, I can already see this on this other case. You know, how many people just don't see it. I mean, the one thing they have managed to do there, when you're talking about the little black thing with the black screen, is that they're hoping that people are going to be watching on their mobiles, and it's people just don't see it on a mobile. You only see things when you have it on your computer screen and blow it up a bit or slow it down a bit. People are on their phones, so everything's fast, and they don't see these things.
Like that Elon Musk and his rockets landing, you know, arse first onto a floating barge. I mean, people that actually believe that's real. It's just incredible. It is. It's
yeah, but you know what? When you work it out, like when I realised, because you know, like even though I felt we were stationary, you know, this bit about we're going in 3 different directions. Like one is anti-clockwise with the moon, and then the other 2 are going with the sun and the universe going the other way, clockwise. So we're going anti-clockwise and clockwise. And then what it is when we go anti-clockwise, we're doing 1,000 miles an hour at the equator, 0 at the poles. And when you add up the speeds of all these put together, we're doing Mach 80 in 3 different directions. And then the people laugh at us. How can we, Mach 80? We wouldn't even survive Mach 1.
Yeah, it's mad. And the numbers as well, it's all 666s and stuff. It's just laughable, really, isn't it?
It is. Anyway, listen, Nimblehorse, we've been going for probably about 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Instead of an hour. 10 minutes. What would you like to fill it with?
Patricia's just back. She's been making a drink. Maybe bring her in.
Sure. Take your microphone off, Patricia. You have to de-microphone yourself. There she is.
I have. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm causing interference, aren't I? Let me just try and. If I turn the volume down, I can't hear Nimblehorse.
No,
don't worry. We're nearly at the end now. Nimblehorse won't. We know it's you. But anyway, go on, Nimblehorse. What would you like to talk about for the last little bit?
Well, yeah, things are all good for me. I mean, that little story I told you about getting busted by the cops and the revenue agents and stuff, that's just life, you know. Life is a bit sort of tragic sometimes. And my mother, she's like, just alcohol, you know, it's just a terrible substance. I was lucky to give up alcohol when I was 26. I was a bit of a nutcase for drink, and then I was able to stop it completely.
I never minded a drink. Not that I was really a pub person, but, you know, a couple of glasses of wine a night or a bit of sherry when I was younger. But ultimately, I went out with an alcoholic, and the more they drank, the less I drank. And basically, I think the whole time we were together in those 2 years, I don't think he ever met me sober. And, you know, it made me look up about alcoholism. And, you know, alcohol is the most depressing thing you can do. It makes you depressed, and it's actually a self-done one. You've done it to yourself by drinking. So all these people who whine on, they did it to themselves. Don't drink. It is the biggest depressant you can have. Maybe for the first drink or 2, it makes you merry, but long term, it's a depressant, not an antidepressant. And so the more they drank, the less I did, and I don't drink anymore. I haven't drunk for about, I don't know, I had the odd drink. You know, if you give me a Bucks Fizz where I can't taste the alcohol or something, I'll drink it. But I haven't drunk now probably for about 6-7 years.
Yeah, that's good. I have occasional beer now and again, but it used to be that I couldn't not, like, I had to drink myself under the table. I could not do that.
But if people just realise that alcohol is the biggest depressant that you can take, biggest. And unfortunately, again, you know, when you get to the self-help books, you're doing it to yourself. You're the one drinking.
Yeah, I mean, tobacco's like that as well. It's it's a negative feedback loop. I can just, but if there is anybody.
Oh, do you know what someone told me yesterday in Co-op? Patricia, I don't know how much your fags cost. £12 for a packet of cigarettes.
Is that what you're smoking?
No, I'm just saying I was in the shop and this woman was telling me that she sold a packet of cigarettes for £12.
For 20, yeah.
£12.
They're about £8-9 round here. Up
Must be
north, because we were a lot
more.
cheaper up north.
£12.
Yeah. Well, what about the weed?
Yeah, it's
I
ridiculous.
smoke £45, like a quarter of weed a week. I used to when I was smoking tobacco anyway. It's too expensive.
Life is too expensive, I tell you. Everything's gone up so much, but our wages are not going up, and the money or even the minimum wage. I mean, if you're on minimum wage, goodness gracious, how do you live?
Yeah.
You
Well,
know, and I think personally, we've never really come out of the recession of 2008. They've been lying, and this is, sorry, I don't mean to sound like, this is why they open the doors and let people in. People come in with nothing, and then those people bolster the economy. That's why they want people with nothing to keep coming into the country. It bolsters the economy. But now little tiny 3-bedroom houses here are 350,000. All these people have got their houses up for sale. They're not selling.
yeah, it's all inflated money, isn't it? They printed all those extra £20 notes for that crash, that financial crash. They basically doubled the money.
I don't think we've ever come out of it. I think we've always been in a recession, and they're going to use coming out of the EU for another part of it. They're just going to use all these things all the time. But I don't think we've ever come out of it. I think we've been in a bit of a recession since 2008. But they've just managed to use other things like opening the gates and letting loads of people in.
Yeah, true. So I think
those people need to rent, need to cook, food, clothes, work, and so they help keeping the economy going in a different way.
it also forces down the wages.
Because I've got this little scenario. It's something I was watching somebody else talking about it. They said if you had a little island and there was 10 of you on there, I'll just say that each one of you's got £1,000, and then an immigrant comes. There's 2 immigrants, one with nothing and one with £10,000. So he matches the same amount of money that's on your island. But anyway, which one would you pick? One with 10,000 or the one with nothing?
I'm not sure if I follow.
Well, you pick the one with
10,000.
No, you pick the one with nothing. The one with 10,000, he comes to your island. He's completely devalued your currency now. Your currency isn't worth what it was because he's come with the same amount of money as you've got. So that's why they don't want people coming here with money. They want people coming with no money. You pick the one without money. He needs to cook, sleep, eat. He will be making money in the economy. He comes with nothing, so he's not devaluing you. And this is why they do it. So they want people with nothing.
Mm-hmm.
People keep coming.
I should have known the answer to that, Karen, because you've mentioned this a few times, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just that I watched it. It's never
in our conversation.
It makes sense though that's why they do it.
It's also these poor people that come, they get welfare benefits, so they'll vote for the parties that promote those benefits.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the people who live here don't get the same shot at things.
Yeah, we're put to the back of the queue while they.
Yeah, it's always the way though, isn't it? Oh, dearie me.
So the conversation's been a little bit down.
At this rate, in 10 years' time, we'll all be living in trucks on our own land or something.
Well, I was just going to say that. I'm thinking of trying to get back into.
It's the biggest thing I watch right now is people converting old buses. But there's a couple of things that just, it's not actually living in the bus. I think I wouldn't mind that if it was quite big. It wasn't a tedious little thing. But it's the loo arrangements, the water, because you have to remember. So it's more looking after yourself. Because right now, just go down to the tap and turn it on. And, like they say, oh, I get 5 miles an hour to a gallon. And you think, cool. You won't go very far in that then. I'd like a bus that was big, but I could do 20, 30 miles to the gallon. And then you might be able to go touring in it. But hey, all I watch is about people converting buses right now.
Or horse boxes. They're quite popular. So I've actually got a caravan and a piece of ground, but there's no water, there's no sewer, and there's no electric. And
yeah, but you could do the same thing. These people have to kit themselves out, so it's all with solar panels, and you have to do it that way.
So that's why I'm thinking of trying to transition into a more simplistic lifestyle, actually, and drop all of this sort of narcissistic nonsense. I'm getting a bit old as well.
But also, we might need to, because if anything does go wrong in the economy, none of us can look after ourselves. That's why I love when Josh X comes on and he starts talking about, living off grid or looking after yourself or growing your vegetables, even eating fruit and stuff. Because I just think, if anything happens, we're completely stuck, aren't we? The supermarkets will run out in a couple of days and then that'll be it. And like, none of us know how to grow anymore. None of us grow. Even if you just grew some tomatoes and a few other things that you could just grow on a windowsill, microgreens.
And the growing season's so short, really, in this country. You get a long, cold winter in this,
God, you know what? We're already it's getting darker each night. And I'm thinking, I'm really enjoying it right now. I don't want winter ever again.
Yeah. It's been really nice evenings, long.
Well, it was slow, wasn't it, to happen here this year? But now it's really nice. It's been nice for a few days. I mean, I went to work at 6 o'clock and it said 31 degrees.
Wow. It's 24 here today.
Pleasant. Anyway, we've done an hour now. Patricia, is there anything you'd like to say, my darling?
No, not really. Well, a couple of things actually. Sorry. I hope you can get your business up and running and make a profit. Maybe diversify with the pegs. Do characters, not just just diversify a little bit.
Yeah, I think so.
Because any income's better than none, isn't it? So good luck with that, and thank you for coming on. Because I really like listening to you, even though you're so low. I need to turn my hearing aid up. No, I don't have a hearing aid, but I'm like really struggling to hear you. But yeah, it's lovely to see you again, and take care. And I love you.
Thanks, Pat.
And I love you too, Karen.
Oh, sorry,
everybody.
Messages are coming through now, but yeah, and the other thing as well, you said that you've got this other thing happening, sentencing, whatever. So I hope that goes really well for you, Nimblehorse, and we have a hangout with you soon in the future sometime.
Yeah, that'd be nice. And all the best for the getting the chat back up. And
yes, Nimblehorse. Nimblehorse is a supporter of Sun and Moon. Anyway, it's been really nice chatting with you, and I'm sorry about the few things that you were talking about. Anyway, Patricia and I give you a big kiss.
Thanks for having me on. And
yeah, and we will
see you again.
And a group hug. Anyway, we will be back soon. Got people lined up coming on. I think we might be doing a couple at the weekend. But anyway, big hugs, everybody, and see you soon, Nimblehorse, and good luck with your venture.
Bye.
Bye, Patricia. Bye, Nimblehorse.